Today, I begin a journey that intertwines my personal story with a broader exploration of digital minimalism, a practice rooted in finding peace amid the overwhelming noise of modern technology. At Lean Life Law, each step I take is a deliberate choice to remove excess and focus on what truly matters in life, both in our physical surroundings and our digital environment. I remember a time when constant notifications and endless streams of online content filled my day with stress and distraction. The relentless buzz of smartphones, email pings, and social media updates made me feel like I was living in a state of perpetual urgency, with every moment consumed by digital chatter. It was during one especially hectic day that I decided to step back and reflect on how these incessant digital demands were impacting my well-being. I sought ways to reclaim control over my attention and reconnect with what brought me genuine joy and creativity. My experiment was not about abandoning technology altogether, but rather learning to use it with intention. Over time, this approach allowed me to experience moments of calm, deeper concentration, and more meaningful interactions with the world around me. In sharing my path, I extend an invitation for you to explore digital minimalism as a guide to cultivate a more mindful existence. This is a journey of simplification, meditation, and rediscovering the essence of living simply and intentionally, free from the unnecessary distractions of modern digital life. Every step has taught me the joy of pausing and cherishing quiet moments away from constant screen glare. This deliberate choice for focus enriches my creativity, balance, and overall well-being. Embracing digital minimalism empowers us to reclaim our time and inner peace truly. Digital minimalism is the art of intentionally choosing how we interact with technology to ensure that these interactions serve us rather than control us. It is a philosophy that revolves around the principle of doing less, but better in our digital lives. I have come to understand that digital minimalism is not about rejecting all devices or software. Instead, it is about being mindful and deliberate about when and how we use them. In my own experience, I noticed that the constant pinging of notifications and the endless lure of social media were draining my focus and clarity. I began to question whether every click, scroll, and notification was truly necessary. Inspired by the values of minimalism, essentialism, and slow living, I started to view technology as a tool, meant to serve a purpose, not as a source of distraction that stole my precious time. I experimented with various approaches to digital usage, setting boundaries and schedules that freed up more time for creative and introspective pursuits. I gradually removed unnecessary apps and opted instead for those that provided genuine value. In this process, I came to appreciate the quality of interactions and the peace that comes from a less cluttered digital space. The essence of digital minimalism is doing away with the habitual urge to check devices incessantly and instead choosing moments for meaningful engagement. Each decision to ignore an unimportant notification or to log off early is a step towards reclaiming control over one's focus and attention. I discovered that by curating my digital environment, I was able to create space for reflection and deep work. This meant not only deleting apps that contributed to mindless scrolling, but also reassessing the way I accessed information. The shift was subtle at first, simply putting my phone on silent or designating tech-free zones in my home. Yet these small adjustments created a ripple effect, allowing me to concentrate on creative projects, personal conversations, and genuine relaxation. Ultimately, digital minimalism is about respecting your time and mental energy. It invites you to ask yourself, is this addition supporting my life, or is it merely filling space? Through intentional choices, you begin to experience technology as a facilitator of well-being rather than a barrier to it. By embracing digital minimalism, I have learned to balance my online and offline worlds, paving the way for a happier, more centered life, every single day, inspired. Looking back at the journey of digital media, one can observe a rapid evolution from its humble beginnings to the omnipresent force it is today. The advent of personal computers, the internet, and mobile phones marked the beginning of an era where information became instantly accessible, forever altering how we communicate and consume content. As these technologies evolved, they started to weave themselves into the fabric of daily life, creating both opportunities and challenges. In earlier times, life unfolded at a slower pace, and interactions were predominantly face-to-face. Technology served as a helper rather than an incessant companion. However, the exponential growth of digital platforms has accelerated our pace of life, often leaving little room for pause or introspection. History has shown that every major innovation initially brings excitement and convenience, but over time, excess can lead to unforeseen consequences. Nowadays, we witness an overload of digital stimuli that competes for our attention day and night, fundamentally altering our patterns of behavior. Against this backdrop, minimalism has emerged as a natural response. It calls us to return to a simpler, more intentional way of living that once characterized our more analog past. By looking at how digital media has evolved alongside lifestyle trends, we begin to understand why the call for digital minimalism is both timely and necessary. It reminds us that even in an era of rapid change, there is value in slowing down and reclaiming moments of genuine connection and mindfulness. This change invites us to deliberate thoughtfully. Modern digital tools are designed to engage our senses and grab our attention, and one of the key chemicals driving this engagement is dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter often associated with the brain's reward system. Every time I receive a new message, a like, or a notification, there is a surge of dopamine that momentarily lifts my mood and makes me eager for more. This biological response creates a cycle where the anticipation of digital rewards keeps me reaching out for my devices repeatedly. In exploring my own habits, I noticed that this constant stimulation was altering my natural attention span and reducing my capacity for deep, focused thought. Instead of spending long periods absorbed in creative projects or personal reflections, I found myself frequently interrupted by the urge to check my phone or refresh my social media feed. This pattern is not unique to me. It is a widespread phenomenon resulting from the design of many digital platforms that exploit our brain's natural cravings. Reducing this overstimulation through digital minimalism has had a pronounced effect on my mental state. By limiting my exposure to the endless notifications, I allowed my brain to reset and return to a more balanced level of dopamine. This recalibration has enabled me to enjoy periods of uninterrupted concentration, leading to more productive work and genuine relaxation. I began to appreciate how a less cluttered digital environment can restore my natural rhythms and contribute to overall well-being. The science behind this is both fascinating and accessible. Researchers have found that constant digital interruptions can enhance stress and anxiety levels by repeatedly triggering the reward pathways in the brain. Conversely, by deliberately reducing digital input, the brain can break its attachment to constant gratification, ultimately promoting healthier mental patterns. The journey to understanding these neurological responses has been a surprising yet empowering part of adopting digital minimalism. It has taught me that by controlling the flow of digital stimuli, we are not only protecting our mental health, but also reclaiming the ability to experience life in its full, unfragmented beauty. Recognizing these responses has inspired me to reshape my digital environment intentionally. By accepting that my brain seeks balance rather than endless excitement, I have embraced practices that prioritize long-term mental clarity over quick, fleeting rewards. This mindful approach continues to redefine my relationship with technology. Every struggle transforms into newfound strength. Implementing digital minimalism in daily routines can be a transformative journey that starts with small, mindful decisions. My own experience began with a conscious effort to structure my day in a way that minimized unnecessary digital interactions. I started by allocating specific times to check emails and social media, rather than letting these platforms interrupt every moment. Early in the process, I made a deliberate decision to eliminate non-essential apps from my phone, favoring those that truly enhanced my productivity and well-being. I observed that even simple measures, like silencing notifications during meals or setting aside a tech-free hour in the evening, significantly improved my focus and reduced feelings of digital overload. As I continued refining my approach, I established clear boundaries between work and leisure. I created dedicated spaces in my home where digital devices were out of sight, which allowed me to immerse myself fully in creative projects or quiet reflection. This physical separation from technology was a powerful reminder that my value is not determined by the number of likes or comments I receive. Instead, it reinforced the importance of cultivating real-life connections and hobbies that nourish my soul. I found that taking regular breaks from screens enabled me to reconnect with nature, whether it was a walk in the park or simply sitting outside to enjoy the fresh air. These moments became essential anchors in an otherwise fast-paced world. In my journey, keeping a journal proved invaluable. By recording my daily experiences and reflections, I became more aware of the times when I was mindlessly scrolling or succumbing to digital distractions. This self-awareness prompted me to make gradual adjustments, replacing long periods online with activities that foster genuine creativity and human connection. I began scheduling regular periods dedicated solely to offline work and leisure, and I also experimented with digital detoxes, a full day or weekend away from screens, to recalibrate my mental environment. Throughout this process, digital minimalism emerged not as a strict set of rules, but as a flexible framework tailored to my personal needs. It allowed me to prioritize high-quality digital content while setting aside time to unplug and rejuvenate. Embracing this lifestyle meant accepting that the journey toward a balanced digital life is continuous, filled with trials and adjustments. Over time, I realized that this ongoing commitment opens up space for more authentic experiences, deeper relationships, and a richer sense of self. Ultimately, every mindful choice, whether it was a short break from a buzzing phone or a full day spent disconnected, contributed to reclaiming my time and fostering a sense of inner peace. By integrating these practices into daily life, I discovered that digital minimalism is not just a strategy for managing technology. It is a pathway to living with greater intention, creativity, and fulfillment in every aspect of life. Each intentional step I take reinforces my belief that less digital clutter leads to a clearer mind and an enriched, meaningful life. My journey continues with every mindful decision, transforming habits with care. Despite the clear benefits of adopting digital minimalism, the journey is not always smooth. I encountered significant challenges along the way, particularly the strong pull of habitual digital dependency. In the early days, every time my phone buzzed or I heard the familiar chime of a notification, it triggered a powerful urge to check it immediately. This compulsion often left me feeling anxious, as if I were missing out on something crucial. I recognized that overcoming this dependency required not just willpower, but also practical strategies to break deeply ingrained habits. I began by setting realistic goals, starting with small periods of disconnection and gradually increasing the duration over time. Creating a structured daily schedule helped me allocate civic times for necessary digital tasks, leaving ample room for uninterrupted work and leisure. I experimented with various tools, such as apps that monitor screen time and options to disable non-essential notifications. These practical measures, while seemingly minor, built up over time to create a more balanced digital experience. I learned that self-discipline is nurtured through consistency rather than sudden, drastic changes. Additionally, I found that building a supportive environment was essential. I arranged my living space to reduce digital distractions by designating certain areas as tech-free zones. This helped me more easily transition into a state of relaxation and focus. I also shared my challenges with friends who were on similar journeys, finding encouragement and solidarity in their experiences. Though the fear of missing out persisted at times, these conversations reassured me that a gradual shift was both natural and beneficial. Through these practical strategies, I discovered that digital dependency could be managed with patience and self-compassion. Every step toward reducing mindless digital engagement empowered me to reclaim control over my time and mental space. Although setbacks occasionally occurred, each challenge provided valuable lessons that refined my approach. In embracing these strategies, I learned that the path to digital minimalism is a continuous process of self-improvement and mindful adjustment, one that promises a more fulfilling and present way of living. Challenges remain, and sometimes the pull of digital distraction feels overwhelming, but with each carefully implemented strategy and every thoughtful adjustment, I continue to build a stronger sense of control over my digital life. every struggle transforms into newfound strength. In reflecting on the path I have traveled toward digital minimalism, I recognize the power of mindful choices in transforming a hectic digital lifestyle into one of balance and intentionality. The journey has illuminated the fact that technology, when used purposefully, can enrich our lives without overwhelming them. I have experienced firsthand how limiting digital interruptions creates space for genuine creativity, deeper human connections, and a profound sense of inner peace. This transformation is neither instant nor easy. It is a continuous process of re-evaluating priorities and reclaiming control over one's attention. Every step taken away from mindless scrolling has allowed me to rediscover the beauty of the present moment. I have learned that the true value of technology lies not in its ability to distract, but in its potential to serve as a tool for growth when engaged with deliberately. My experiences serve as a heartfelt reminder that by choosing quality interactions over quantity, we can simplify our digital landscape and, consequently, our lives. Let this be an invitation to anyone seeking to escape the relentless pace of modern digital life. Embrace moments of stillness and introspection and allow your inner world to flourish away from constant digital noise. In doing so, we create a future that honors both technological progress and the timeless need for genuine human connection. As I continue my journey, I am filled with optimism and gratitude for the lessons learned along the way, and I remain committed to exploring new ways to live mindfully in a world abundant with digital possibilities. With each mindful decision, we build a future where technology enhances rather than diminishes our quality of life, offering a path toward deeper fulfillment and serene clarity. May each deliberate act guide us towards a peaceful, purpose-driven digital future. In sincere gratitude always.